Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to some more World of Warships, and once again I am still in Japan enjoying myself, hopefully. I don't know, we'll see. Today we have a Minotaur battle, and this one's actually a fairly close battle, very close indeed. We have Kiryu, two Montanas, Kerfers, Missouri Turpits, Minotaur, Moskva, Shimakaze, Grosvoy, Z46, and his Sin Young. On the enemy team, there is a Kiryu, Montana, Conqueror, Yamato, FTG, Alabama, Hindenburg, Moskva, Buki, Gearing, Hoppedosh, and a Lo Yang. And I am joined with Brandon in his Hakuryu, and he just recently got this ship. I honestly am not a very good CV player, and the highest I've gone is Hiryu, so we'll see if I ever get the Shikaku. I'm definitely not pushing myself to get this ship, or that ship for that matter. But yeah, I am in the Minotaur, going to try to help support Brandon in the Hakuryu. So we're gonna try to do our very best. So starting off, we're playing standard battle on two brothers. It's going to be a little bit more passive, I guess you could say, compared to many other types of battles. And fortunately, the enemy seems to be okay with bringing his fighters within the AA range of a Minotaur, so I will gladly begin shooting down planes. But it looks like the enemy Montana is finally spotted, but you did see there that we were essentially being aimed at quite a bit by a few players, and coming to this little area. It's not bad at long range, but closer range you are gonna have to go into that gap just to get shots off. So we're gonna try to assist our team as much as possible, and we have a few potatoes on our team, if you can't already guess this. As you can kind of see that they're moving up north. Yeah. Alright, so starting off, unfortunately, our Shimakaze captain is going to meet a very untimely demise, to say the very least. He is going to basically deal with the enemy Hakuryu's planes, and that is not very fun for a Shimakaze to deal with. But getting fire at the Moskva, and I know I'm using the smoke Minotaur, not the radar, blah 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 blah. Yes, I understand that. And yeah, that was probably my fault for not paying as much attention to my position as I was. Line shot in from the Alabama. We do get citadel, so that is going to force me to start reversing a bit, so I'm not that easy to hit as I was sitting more in that gap. But I was trying to and hoping to get some shots off any enemy destroyers, but the enemy destroyers look like they are going wide, so should not be a big deal. Alabama is currently being focused on by Brandon with torp planes, and of course manages to fit right into a gap. So far things are very similar. Shimakaze did go down to the enemy Hakuryu's planes, and the enemy team have just lost their Lo Yang. So this position's not too bad. However, it is going to get compromised relatively quickly because we have just lost our Z46, and unfortunately there's no other destroyers on the side of the island. We do have a Grosvoy, who is kind of center of the map. He's actually offering a support, which is an interesting choice. Probably not what I would have liked to see, but it is what it is. And that's going to go ahead and start reversing. And once again, the Hakuryu is obligingly bringing his planes in towards my AA, so we do get a few planes shot down. Now at this time, like I said, we're not in a really good position on the Eastern Front. We have a few of our big battleships all the way up north, not really offering a lot of support, which is going to allow the enemy battleships to push up north and cause potential havoc. Brandon is offering support with his fighters. That's what's keeping, obviously, those dive bombers at bay. And I will have to say, for any Hakuryu player, I salute you, because that is a buttload of planes that you have to manage at one time. And it is seriously quite impressive. when you do have to manage all those planes and do a really good job. Because, yeah, once again, I'm not a really fantastic CV player, so I will have to say that. Alright, so right now, not much I can do. Finally spotted by some fighters, and once again going to try to assist our teammates as much as possible. And I am gonna go ahead and smoke up because there is still that Alabama that can get shots in at us. May not have been the best use of smoke. Generally, you always want to try to smoke up whenever you can actually get damage in, because the Minotaur really does rely on smoke. But fortunately, once again, we're getting some planes, and Brandon is going to stall those planes right above us. Grossovoy is also coming in to assist, and planes are getting downright shredded right now. Now Montana has fortunately pushed up around the island that we can actually get shots in, and look, that's nice. Already shot down 12 planes and doing a pretty good job as far as taking out his fighters. Haven't really seen a lot of his dive bombers or torpedo planes near us, which is unfortunate, because if we could take out those, that would have been extremely beneficial. And now we're gonna try to launch torpedoes. Maybe we'll get lucky, we'll see. Torpedoes are away, and they were off towards that Montana. We'll see how that goes, but Habarosh is spotted, and let's see if we can get some shots in at that Habarosh. And unfortunately, there's not much of a gap, and we're gonna unfortunately beach ourselves, which is highly unfortunate. But Grossovoy is obviously attracting attention, which is causing the gearing to start coming back around. But I do have to be keep in mind of my own smoke screen. My own smoke screen only has about 30 seconds left, so I need to be in a position where I can actually pull away without being focused on. And gearing, fortunately for us, drives right into our torpedoes, takes one torpedo, and then, well, ricochets. Good lord. Look at this. Now, yes, I am only using my back guns because, well, there's a Montana right there, and we finally get the kill on the gearing. Montana is coming around the corner and going to drop torpedoes, and things are going to be dangerous because not really much of a place to hide. Grossovoy did lay his own smoke screen. Can we survive the salvo? Should be fine. Only an over penetration. I will gladly take that. Looks like we actually have a friendly cruiser coming back to assist, and that is going to prove extremely beneficial because that obviously is going to draw some fire. Unfortunately, now we are no longer detected, but torpedoes are looking pretty good against this Montana. Should be able to at least get one. The single spread's not gonna hit, unfortunately, but we do get one cause of flooding. And now actually we got two. Good. Now once again, probably not the best, but honestly we need to focus down this Montana as quickly as possible. Try to take him out of the game, try to give our team a little bit more of a breath, because this Montana has quite dramatically overextended, is currently being focused down by the carrier as well as our 3 ships that are around here. Mosfa is doing a really good job. Glad to have that Mosfa around. But our team have just lost another ship, and Habarosh did take out the enemy friendly turrets. Montana is finally dead, which is very, very nice. Where did that Montana shoot? How? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. I forgot. We also had those guys. Sorry. I forgot about those. Like I said, slight potatoes. But they at least, I guess, helped out taking out that Montana. Alright. So at this time, you can see the majority of the enemy forces is in fact heading towards their base. And I think it would be a really good idea to actually push into their cap. And we are going to use the middle of the channel. Now, this channel is very notorious for early players early in the game to rush down it and try to get those amazing games. But in this later matches, it is going to be extremely beneficial because it does allow you to quickly reinforce your friendly team. And as you can see, we have just lost our Montana. Things are still really super close. So we're going to try to help out, try to get down there as quickly as possible. Let's see. We do have a Alabama, the Yamato, Conqueror, and a Habarush to deal with, plus a Mosfa. Mosfa is actually around somewhere. There he is. Finally is spotted. I did ask the destroyer to lay down a smoke screen. He obligingly did, however, not quite there yet to actually really take advantage of that smoke screen, and it is a Pan-Asian destroyer smoke screen, which is short-lived. So by the time I get in there, it's probably already going to be halfway through. And it looks like Brandon does drop the enemy Alabama and should be able to take him out with relative ease. We'll see how things go. Hikaru obviously is currently focusing our Missouri, who has now just gone down. And once again, the teams are actually very close. However, as you can see, we have a few battleships that are quite healthy, so that should not be a big deal. But definitely need to try getting that smoke screen. Unfortunately, there is a Mosfa, and I'm just going to have to try to tank some of this damage. Unfortunately for us, they are, for the most part, firing HE. Yamato, of course, pens us and gets a Citadel. But fortunately for us, we do beach, and we're going to go ahead and start reversing. And of course, whenever a cruiser sees a British cruiser, instantly switches over to AP. And we just get ricochets and bounces from that Mosfa. So very kindly obliges on firing AP. So smoke screen is available for us, and of course we are still being radared. However, we should be fine. That Mosfa's radar should go down. Conqueror, of course, is firing HE and only does some minor damage, nothing too worrying about. And we're gonna try to push in if we can. Gotta be careful. Minotaur is obviously a very squishy ship, but now that we are no longer detected, we can have some fun. But it looks like this Mosfa is actually currently running the Hydro. Actually, no, I believe it is the Freddy. The Freddy is coming up and is running Hydro, which is not particularly good. Obviously, it does not allow us any element of surprise. And we have just lost our Mosfa. So yes, once again, the match is very, very close. Both teams are fairly even. I do ask Brandon to focus down that Freddy as quickly as possible, because he obviously is currently hydroing me and doesn't really allow me any potential wiggle room to begin focusing on the enemy player. Got to be careful. This Freddy might start pushing us, but fortunately for us, Brandon does help us out with taking out the enemy Freddy. So we should be fine. Torps are incoming. Does get a torpedo on the Freddy, make that 2. And that Freddy should go down here in a moment. There we go. Brandon does get the kill on that Freddy. So now we can actually push out. Now that we have the advantage, Mosfa's radar is still on cooldown. And we're gonna try to push this Mosfa. The Mosfa, yes, is an extremely dangerous ship. Has very good AP. But if showing any broadside, the Minotaur will definitely chew up the enemy Mosfa very, very quickly. So we're going to have to try to take him out as quickly as possible. Habarush finally goes down to the Montana. And obviously now his radar is up. So instantly start turning in. Don't want to show any broadside to the enemy Mosfa. Shells hit the island. And just watch how quickly we can chew up this Mosfa. Now we're in cap. And of course he sticks with HE and it causes very minimum amount of damage. And right now focusing the superstructure is obviously the best idea. And there we go. That is kill number 2. Very, very nice. And right now we got to kind of get ourselves back behind an island to protect ourselves from the Yamato. And I will have to admit this right here is kind of kill stealing. But the friendly destroyer is having trouble taking out this Conqueror and don't want him to get a heal off, because that would be extremely detrimental. And there we go. Kill number 3. Kind of stolen, I will admit. But now we can begin obviously focusing down the enemy Yamato And once again, broadside Minotaur reigns supreme because of just the high volume that she does pump out. You can just watch how quickly 6k damage there, and every now and then you get those lower damage rolls. It really depends on the angle of the ship. Unfortunately, most of our shells are now starting to slam into the island, but this Yamato is quickly getting focused down very quickly. Should go down here in a moment, and we have just earned Confederate. Very nice. And there we go. Yamato is now dead. All that's left is the Kiryu, and the Kiryu is very limited on time. It looks like Brandon is essentially securing the enemy CV store planes that really can't do much with his with those store planes. But anyways, this is actually going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for joining in, and as always, if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.